Good morning, guys. Good morning. All right, we're going to do some science, but we're going to switch it up here a little bit. We've been talking about lights and shadows. Now we're going to start to talk about sound. And sound is it's all around us if you think about it. Right now you hear sound in the form of me talking. You can totally hear sound. If you sit kind of just still for a second, what else do you hear? What else do you hear in your house? Like I can hear our TV right now. I can hear my husband walking across our hallway floor actually as well. So there's a lot of things that I can hear that I bet you can hear as well. Hearing is basically the sounds that we get to our ear so that we know what is going around us, what's going on around us. Somebody's talking to us, we can hear it. If somebody is pounding, we can hear it. If somebody wants to sing that song, we hear it. I know we hear it all the time. It's everywhere. But yes, that is how we hear things, is that they are called sound vibrations travel to our ears. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about that and what sound really is. So, but I'm going to read a little bit out of our book too. It has that designing, when we design something, we find a solution for it, a way to fix it. And engineers are great with that. Engineers design, that means they think about something and they build it to try to make it better. So when engineers are thinking about sound, they got to, first of all, sound and light both have a source. They both have a source, which means they both come from one spot, from a starting spot. So, like right now, the source of what you are hearing is me. I'm the source. If I shut off my mouth, then I shut off the source and you don't hear it anymore. So, yes, just like light, sound has a source. So, one of the problems might be that they got to figure out how to make it right? Sometimes you have to make things louder. So that is a big problem that engineers had to come up with, is how can we make things to where people can hear them loudly? And I'm thinking you might know what this is. What do you suppose they created in order to do that? In order to make sounds louder. What do you suppose they might have made? Not bad. Speaker. Yes, a speaker is what I was going to. Some sort of a speaker. Or sometimes you'll bring it to me and you'll say, I can't hear this, Mrs. Froman. And I turn it up. I'm turning up the little speaker in your iPad. They had to make them. Do you suppose that all speakers are really, really big? No. Some are really, really tiny, like in the iPads that we have at school. Those are not very big speakers, but they do make it to where it's loud enough you can hear. You can hear, absolutely. Sound is basically comes from vibration, guys. So vibration is when something moves back and forth very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. So that is, and I'm going to use this rubber band. I'm really hoping you guys will be able to see it. I put one in your packet as well that I want you to be able to experiment with. Best way is to find two tight spots that you can stretch them out with, and then you pull one side so that way you can hopefully cause vibration, and you'll be able to see what vibration is. I will kind of pull. Let me see if we can see it. I want to get it. Let me do it. And then you're going to. Did you see it moving back and forth really fast? Yes, I think you can. Awesome. And depending on how fast it moves, depends on the pitch, depends on how high something is or how low something is. So your rubber band might be either higher sounding or lower sounding than mine, depending on how fast the vibration is. Well, I always like to tell my kiddos to remember, if it's going to be a deep sound, it's low and slow. Think about cars and think about Ramon when he goes cruising and his wife with Flo, and he's all like, low and slow. That is it. If the sound is low, the vibration will be slower. Let me see if I can. I don't think you'll be able to see it. The higher, the more tension, the more I pull on it, the higher the sound gets. I'll try to be quiet and see if you guys can hear it. And then now I'm going to pull it tighter, and my vibrations are going to get faster. And it gets a little bit higher sounding. So I don't know if you can really tell that here on this video. I don't know if our microphones are that good. But yes, that is kind of what we're working on and learning about today. We've kind of talked that sound has to travel through the air. That vibration has to kind of vibrate the air. And you have to be able to let it reach your ears so that way you can hear it. So it's a little bit tricky. And I know it's kind of weird. We've talked about lightning and how lightning is very, very scary, but we tend to be more scared of the thunder because it makes that loud sound. But we now know that thunder is just the noise of lightning. That sound has to travel through all that air and then get to our ears. And it takes a little while to be able to travel. Those vibrations take a little while to reach our ears. Okay? So there is a video on Brain Pop that I want you to watch. There's lots of nifty little books on Epic too that I'm going to have you be able to watch and to be able to see. I really wish this one is kind of tricky if we're not in our classroom because there's a lot more experiments and things. Ones that you can try if you have, excuse me, if you have a ruler at home, you can set the ruler on a hard table and then flick the ruler. Now, depending on how far the ruler sticks out from the table, you'll be able to hear a difference in the frequency and how high or how low it is. You'll be able to tell that if the ruler is really close to the table, it's going to be kind of a thunk, thunk. But if you stretch out your ruler, then you get more of a ding, ding. It gets a little bit higher. So I want you, if you have a ruler, that's the hardest part. Like, I even kind of looked, I'm like, what else could I use that I could do? If you had a paint stirrer, there's some things that you could use, but boy, I couldn't think of any this morning that I'm like, ugh, what do I have that would vibrate other than a rubber band? So if you have some of those, then that would be great. Try and experiment with those. If you don't have that, that's okay too. Remember when we sat in our classroom and we found our happy places? And we sat there for 2 whole minutes quietly. I know, I never thought you could do it. I never thought you could do it, but you all proved me wrong. We sat there for 2 minutes without moving or without making a sound. If you have that opportunity to be able to go outside and do that, or even in your own house, there's a lot of sounds that you can hear in your own house as well. I want to highly recommend that you do that. Stop, listen, and see how many different sounds that you can hear. The your happy place moment is optional. You don't have to, you can just sit with your hands in your lap. It's just fine. But I would like to encourage you to be able to do that, to listen to those sounds, okay, guys? And then experiment with your rubber band. If he's kind of loose, does he make a different sound than when he's really tight? And listen for that frequency, and to be able to tell the tone, if it's high or low, to be able to tell if your vibration is fast or slow. You got it, guys. All right. Have fun with this a little bit. Watch that video. See how you do on those quizzes. And we will talk to you later. Bye.